still don't know the extent of the damage.
We haven't been able to get through to anyone since the explosion. What about Alma? What happened to her? What was that sound?
Fear Extraction Point is the first of 2 Fear expansion packs, taking place immediately after the events of the first game. Less story focused than the first game, Extraction Point takes all the best bits of Fear, the intense gunfights, the atmospheric horror, and the fantastic AI, and puts it together in a short 3 to 5 hour campaign. Whilst the game does directly pick up where the first game ended, it's disappointing to hear from the developers that both expansion packs are not actually featured in the official storyline, meaning that both the events of Extraction Point and Perseus Mandate never actually happened. But does this mean you should skip Extraction Point? Definitely not.
I'll leave the 2 of you alone.
If you've played the first game, don't expect this expansion to be a drastic change from the original. The formula is essentially the same. You work your way through the various areas, shoot some clones, experience a strange paranormal haunting or 2, rinse and repeat. Thankfully, Extraction Point offers enough to make the experience intense and engaging. This is partly thanks to the improved level design. The areas are relatively varied this time around, and I enjoyed spending more time shooting bad guys rather than wandering aimlessly around office buildings, which seemed to be a problem in the first game. Extraction Point is noticeably darker than the first game. The horror elements are more intense than ever, and there are some seriously gruesome deaths to be seen. It all adds up to a more exciting and scary cinematic feel to the game.
Man, this is not right.
Story-wise, Extraction Point offers very little in terms of progression, and disappointingly, virtually nothing is explained, and there were times when I was wondering just exactly what was going on. But what the game lacks in story, it more than makes up for in gameplay and visual effects. Everything that made the first Fear game so great is here. The lighting and ambient noises are still creepy as ever, and the particle effects during gunfights I still think are some of the best I've seen in a video game. The artificial intelligence has also supposedly been improved, but during my playthrough I actually found it difficult to notice any change in the way the enemies moved from the last game, which is by no mean a bad thing, as the AI still holds up to this day as being some of the best in a first-person shooter. There are a few new weapons this time around, including a laser rifle, minigun, deployable turrets, grenade launchers and more. Each weapon is fun to use, and they definitely feel like solid additions to the game, adding new tactical options to firefights. Aside from the new weapons and a few new enemies, everything else is pretty much the same. You still have the ability to slow down time, throw grenades and shoot bad guys, but there isn't a whole lot that wasn't done in the first game, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing. So if you are hoping for Extraction Point to push the Fear storyline along, then you'll no doubt be disappointed. But if you're looking for the best bits of the original Fear game, but with new weapons, enemies, and some scarier than ever horror scenes, then definitely pick up Fear Extraction Point. If you like my review, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you want to read the written review, then head over to trace6x.tumblr.com.